I know sometimes we have occasional pains and aches in our shoulder joint, and we don't really pay much attention to them. And that's okay as long as they go away, but sometimes it can progress into a very painful and debilitating condition called adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. Frozen shoulder is where the capsule that surrounds the joint shrinks down, kind of like shrink wrap, and that prevents the joint and the bones from moving freely and can become very painful. Frozen shoulder symptoms usually progress exponentially over time. So if you're starting to feel any symptoms like decreased range of motion and extreme pain, get help immediately. Some of the things that cause frozen shoulder, or maybe you've had some trauma or a surgery to a shoulder, maybe you have a medical condition like diabetes, or you've had a stroke. Some inflammatory conditions like arthritis or fibromyalgia can cause frozen shoulder. Also, if you're between the age of 40 and 70, and more particular, if you're a woman and postmenopausal, those are some risk factors to developing frozen shoulder. Everyone seems to go through this process with frozen shoulder, maybe a little bit different, but there are some things that we found that are consistent. There's 3 phases, and these phases can last anywhere from just a couple weeks to several months long. The first phase is the freezing phase, where you're starting to develop more pain, and you're noticing that your motion is becoming more limited. Even when you try some stretching exercises, it's very painful. The next phase is the frozen phase. So your range of motion isn't getting worse, but it's not getting any better, and it's really painful to move. The last phase is the thawing phase, where range of motion starts to get better, pain starts to diminish, but it's still pretty sore when you move it, but you're noticing you're getting more motion. This is the phase that we can really help. It's this last phase, or the thawing phase, that really only happens with proper treatment. So if you're starting to develop frozen shoulder, we can help move you through the first 2 phases a lot faster, and then begin that thawing phase and really make a difference.